Yo, yo, yo. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another episode of Macro Mondays. A major sea of red across the board in the crypto markets. We get some double digits to the downside, such as Picoin, a bunch of other shit coins over here getting smashed. And nothing that wasn't expected, guys. We have been cautious on the channel. We have been waiting for a pullback. This is the pullback. Our levels haven't been reached yet. I'm still looking for lower prices, but here is a decent pullback for the markets. And we're going to get straight into the charts, starting off with Bitcoin. So one thing I want to notice with Bitcoin is this was basically what I would call a news failure. So what happened here was we obviously got the rate cut over here. This was on Wednesday. Thursday we pushed up, and then Friday, so 1, 2 after the rate cuts, we closed underneath that 50% level, guys. And it is a game of slim margins here. It is a game of margins. So the dead giveaway for me was that we closed Friday below the macro 50% that we are looking at. Or not the macro, the more micro, but it is a major level. It's a major 50%. So we obviously had the all-time highs coming in over here at that 124K region. And then we had the recent lows, which we did see at 107K over here. And that halfway point comes in at that 115,800. And that Friday close below was, of course, a red flag. And the rest is history. Major move to the downside. It's not actually a major move at all. It's not a major move at all. It's only a few percent. 3% to the downside. My personal target is this level over here, coming in at that 99K. We could even come lower, in my opinion, and that would be a decent move from here, guys. So we obviously are short. That would be another 12% to the downside, which is a great opportunity. It's a great opportunity. My bad. It's a great opportunity to, enter into the market again at that level over there. And we have now lost the 50-day EMA. We didn't get a bounce. So if we do close around this area, I would expect this to be the next resistance and a good zone where you could get into a short if we do push up there. Another thing I would look out for, guys, is this 111K over here. And that 50% level comes from that 98K low all the way to all-time highs. And that halfway level comes in at that 111.2K. So I would expect a bounce over here. And then let's see, guys. Let's see if we do form a higher low over here. This could be looking like almost like a W pattern over here. Something like that. If we do break out, then off we go. So all shorts at the moment, your stop would go to that 118K zone. If you are in a short, this is where your stop loss would go. If you are short on any token, this is where your stop loss would go. That is the invalidation point. That is the point that we have to be very, very cautious of. If we do reclaim that level, if Bitcoin does reclaim the 50-day EMA, if it does reclaim the 50% level at 115.8K, major warning signs that we are going to continue onwards and upwards. But for now, we can be sitting in our shorts and be bearish. So what was another precursor that gave it away? Guys, we spoke about Bitcoin dominance. We spoke about Bitcoin dominance coming up into this red box over here. This was last week. We spoke about it around here. We said that this looks like a breakout for Bitcoin dominance and the perfect retest. So what that means is when you get a breakout and the perfect retest, you do have to favor the upside. And there was no ways that Bitcoin was going to outpump the rest of the market. So basically what had to happen for Bitcoin dominance to go up was altcoins had to tank that, 7% Ethereum, 8% Solana. That was the only way for Bitcoin dominance to push up into the 50-day EMA. That was the only logical way of it happening. And that is how it happened. Guys, we saw the breakout, we saw the retest, we spoke about this bullish divergence over here. And let's see what happens. If this is the top, then, we could come down here. But if we start to close daily candles above this 58.8% over here and start to consolidate between this zone over here, basically if we if Bitcoin consolidates in the zone over here, then it is going to most likely be setting up a move into that 60%, which will obviously be more bearish for altcoins. But let's see, guys, one step at a time. For now, this is resistance, and it has rejected off here. And yeah, we have rejected off there, so only time will tell. But for now, very comfortable sitting in our shorts. USDT dominance coming up into resistance as well. It finally met up with the 200-day EMA over here. This chart is messy, but we did look for basically a top into this range low. I personally thought we'd come a bit deeper when we did run. However, this was, reclaiming the 50-day EMA and going straight to the 200-day EMA in one day there. And of course, we do have this descending resistance from previous highs. If USDT dominance gets above here and starts to consolidate above the 200-day EMA, it's going to be looking very, very, very scary for the crypto market. So definitely watch out for that. USDC dominance, we spoke about this being a big warning sign, was the golden cross of the USDC dominance. Now, this is, of course, bullish for stable coins, which is bearish for crypto. We did speak about this, guys. We spoke about the breakout. This was a while ago. This is where I bailed out of most of my crypto, was this zone over here. We did push up, come down. We retested the golden cross perfectly over there. And now it looks like we are making that move to that 2%. This is, of course, resistance. I do think this is the target, guys. I think USDC dominance at 2%, Bitcoin dominance comes into that 60%. Bitcoin comes into, this lower region over here, maybe even the 111 to 107K. If we do start to lose that and it does start to look parabolic and explosive, of course, that being Bitcoin dominance and USD CND dominance, then I do think that 100K zone is it for Bitcoin. Now, what I thought was interesting was this total crypto chart over here. This is, of course, the whole crypto markets cap. Obviously, the strategy was buy the breakout. So I think, personally, a winning strategy in the crypto is buying these, resistance breakouts. And then, of course, you have to be shorting the support breakdown. So this has not broken down yet, so nothing is confirmed. It is below the 50-day EMA, but who knows where that's going to close. We have now, we are underneath the 50% level as well. So what you don't want to see is for price to consolidate in the zone over here. If it does, then I do think that it's going to be testing this EMA as support, as resistance, and then it's most likely going to be making its move down and probably retesting this zone over here. This is a really good region, in my opinion. This zone over here, I think it makes a lot of sense to get tagged. So watch out for this, guys. There's a 200-day EMA over here. There are these, old resistances flipping into support at the zone over here. So watch out for 3.5 trillion, guys. 3.5 trillion is the number. Let me get rid of that. I do think that is where we'll be taking all the profits from our shorts and then flipping long again. And guys, don't forget that if the top isn't in and we do get strong support in the zone over here, the $5 trillion mark is still very much on the table. That is what I'm looking out for, guys. But I do see a move down into this $3.5 trillion zone for total crypto. And that's what makes a lot of sense, guys. Remember that the total crypto market is still bullish above 3.24 trillion. So if we do come down and find support in this zone over here, this is going to be really, really, really bullish and most likely going to be a great place to be adding to those longs if you are still long. But basically flipping our shorts into longs will be at this zone over here, guys. And then we would expect a last leg up into the end of the bull run, and then call it quits, guys. Run away, take your profits, guys. You have to take profits. Most people have horror stories in the crypto market because they don't take profits. They get greedy. Remember, guys, you need to fight for your capital. So yeah, this is basically the plan. that means this week will be red. I'm personally not trading this week. When you get big liquidation events like this, I'm talking about, you know, above $1 billion liquidation over here. Longs last 12 hours is over $1 billion of liquidation. And of course, the long short ratio is skewed. This should skew back to 50-50, resulting in a potential, you know, relief rally from current price. But when you see this, you have to wait for the dust to settle. You can't be going long or catching falling knives or anything like that. You have to wait for the dust to settle. And it does take a while, guys. The last time we had something like this that I can remember was this event over here. That was, of course, in July. That was August last year. We had this wick over here. I remember this I can relive it right now. This was awful. But what we do need to understand is that things take time in the market. And, you know, we didn't buy or catch this falling knife, but look what came was a nice opportunity down the line. And of course, things can take time, but you got to be patient. It can be a month until you do get the perfect entry again. So is this week going to be red? I don't have a crystal ball. I can't tell you that answer. If we do go to the weekly time frame, let's just park it on the weekly time frame quickly. Go up there, go over to Bitcoin. There's a good chance that this week is red. It's red right now. But what I spoke about earlier was that we couldn't close above that 115.8K. And that is also on the weekly time frame. So what we do see is a sell-off over there since 11th of August. Then, of course, you know, we pushed up. We tried to get above that important 115.8, but we did get rejected. We then followed through. This does look like a topping candle, a big push up, rejection candle, push down. So I would say this is a, you know, almost a given, the zone to be tested. But let's see. Will this week be red? I'm not sure. Most likely going to be a red week. Most likely going to be a, you know, red month, a red few weeks, in my opinion. So where were we? I would be waiting for the dust to settle. Obviously, massive liquidations over here. So the best thing to do is, you know, do nothing. Now, fear and greed index finally coming into fear. We haven't seen these levels in a very long time. So let's put this on the one year. And yes, we did come into slight fear over here on the 30th of August, but we haven't seen levels underneath 30. That 30 to 20 zone is such a great zone to be buying crypto. The last time this happened was, you know, that March to April zone. And if we go back March to April, that was this low over here. Okay. March to April. This was a great opportunity to get long in the market. So what we have to do is just wait for that 20 to 30 zone, and we should have a good entry. So it's just about being patient. So I do see the next few weeks being red. I would like to see a full reset, you know, basically 2 to 3 weeks of sitting at fear would be great for a buying opportunity, obviously looking for higher prices. What else do we want to speak today? Oh, so tomorrow is, of course, Fed Chair Powell's speak. So watch out for this. This is happening at 6:35 to be very specific, my time tomorrow. So watch out for this, guys. Definitely watch out for that. But for now, honestly, guys, I would be sitting on my hands. I'd be waiting. I do think we're going to see 100K Bitcoin. For very least, we're going to see 106K. It's 200-day EMA, guys. We haven't tested this 200-day EMA in a while. The last time we touched it was April. So, you know, we don't often go such an extended time without touching it. So, I mean, if you have a look here, we didn't touch it for 130 days. Over here now, we haven't touched it for 155 days. So some kind of correction is due over here. We didn't touch it for a very extended period of 260 days. So, do what you must with that data. Over here, we didn't touch it for 90 days, 150 days. So definitely expect some kind of test of this 200-day EMA. If it's only in a few months, so be it. But yeah, definitely watch out for a potential test of that, guys. Some blood on the streets. Feels good to be positioned correctly. Let's look at SUI. So what you guys don't want to see is your token trading below the 200-day EMA. An example like this would be Tau. So of course, an old trading idea. Nothing bullish about this. We can actually get rid of that. ENS below, huge dump. Link above, potential buying opportunity here for Link. Personally, I'm sitting on my hands. ENA, we got stopped out. I can't believe we got stopped out of this trade. I literally wicked and then followed through. It happens, guys. It happens. Uniswap, potential buying opportunity over here. This is a good level. But honestly, guys, I'm sitting on my hands. I'm not trading. Blood is on the streets. I think people are hurting at the moment, especially holding altcoin bags. But yeah, guys, I'm going to end the stream there. What about ENA shorts? If I'm short ENA, brilliant. I would enjoy being short on ENA. I personally got stopped out. I took a short from the 50% level with this high as my stop loss, and it actually got tagged like literally to perfection and then rejected through. It looks kind of similar to my Solana short, where I was shorting this zone over here with stop around here, and so got stopped out of that one. But if you are in your ENA shorts, that's looking pretty good. How's hype looking? Yeah, hype's starting to come to the downside, guys. We're starting to break down as well. I got into a hype short yesterday, and this looks like a decent breakdown. Let's see if hype can start to close below this 50-day EMA below here, then I would expect the next zone would be this 200-day EMA, which lines up very nicely with this low over here. So potential $37 hype on the cards. Okay, guys, I'm going to end the stream there. Thanks so much for joining, and we will see you later this week. Cheers for now.